the News Channel 5 Network. This is Inside Politics.
Hello, everyone. I'm News Channel 5's political analyst, Pat Nolan. Welcome to Inside Politics. Nashville's ongoing mass transit debate concerning the controversial AMP project took a new turn this week. Mayor Carl Dean has announced he's asking designers to look at major changes in his plan, and he's appointing a 20-member citizens panel to facilitate better communication between Metro and the community. On Inside Politics today, we'll talk with representatives of both sides of the debate to get their take on what's happened, and more importantly, what happens now. We'll talk with Nashville Chamber Executive Ralph Schultz, and he's a supporter of the AMP in the second half of the show. Our first guest is Nashville businessman Lee Beaman. He's one of the major critics of the AMP and a strong contributor to the Stop AMP movement. Lee, thanks for coming on the show.
Glad to be here, Pat. Thank you.
Now, what are your thoughts about the changes the mayor announced? Good move?
Well, I applaud the mayor for recognizing that there are shortcomings with the design of the AMP as it was originally designed, and he's made a step in the right direction, I think, by cutting back the dedicated lanes from about 80% of the route to 50% of the route. But I would really, it's like a pipe of flow of traffic compared to a water pipe. If there is a restriction anywhere along the route, it's going to back up traffic. It's going to back up the flow. So, I strongly feel like that he needs to eliminate all of the dedicated lanes, allow all vehicles to share the lanes in order to make sure that the traffic, other people...
So basically make it a complete bus rapid transit light program like they have on Murfreesboro Road or Gallatin Road.
And like 90 or 95% of the bus rapid transit in the country is curbside pickup without dedicated lanes.
Now, the mayor indicated he's making these changes or asking they be looked at based on the public comments that happened during several recent community meetings, and also because he's been looking more at the preliminary designs that have been brought forward. Are you tempted to say, given the fight there's been on this, either I told you so or what took you so long?
I don't care who gets credit for it or anything like that. I'm just glad that it's turning in a better direction, and we just want to make sure that we continue to pursue this issue to make sure that we end up with a really good plan that serves everybody.
Now, you've indicated you have some concerns he didn't go far enough. Are those enough to make you still say you can't support the AMP even as it's going to be redesigned?
Yes, I feel very strongly that we need to eliminate all of the dedicated lanes. When I say that, it's not so much, I don't mind the dedicated lane as long as it can be done without taking away lanes of current traffic.
Now, is the Stop AMP movement united on your particular position on that? I've heard there might be some disagreement among the ranks with that. Y'all all together still with us?
I'm not aware of anybody involved in Stop AMP that doesn't agree that we need to eliminate all of the dedicated lanes.
Now, what about a different route entirely? There was a lot of talk early on about placing this particular mass transit project over on Charlotte instead of using the West End corridor. Is that something you think the designers and the Citizens Committee ought to go back and look at again?
I don't know. It seems like that there would probably be more people that would be interested in riding mass transit in a bus, a rapid transit bus, in some other routes. But if they feel like they need to put it on the West End, that's fine as long as it doesn't have dedicated lanes.
I've heard reports there are other particular concerns about design that are out there. Do you have others, or is it basically for you, if you get rid of the dedicated lanes and don't run it and have people getting on and off in the center of the street, you don't care? You're fine with the project if it's bus rapid transit light?
Yes, and the other thing that benefits tremendously is it allows the current center turning lane to still be there so that people can make left turns anywhere along, except for one-way streets, anywhere along the entire route.
Now, you expressed an interest in being on the Mayor's Citizens Advisory Committee. How do you see the role of that group?
Well, first, I heard that he had said that he was going to invite me to be on it, but I haven't heard anything yet, so I don't know that I'm on it. So,
well, whether you're on it or not, how do you see the role of that group? What do you think they should be doing?
I think that everybody needs to voice their concerns, and everybody needs to be respectful. I'd like to find out, if I were on the committee, I'd like to find out why they think that the dedicated lanes are such a good idea. I cannot understand that for the life of me, why they think that it will improve traffic if you take away a third of the capacity of the road.
And I'm assuming if you're on the committee, you will see that as your role, is to be able to ask why they wanted to do it that way. Are you pushing for any other particular changes other than getting rid of all the dedicated lanes?
I can't think of any others.
Now, some people, you're in the auto industry in the sense that you own and operate some car dealerships. You have other businesses too. Sometimes folks say that people in the automobile industry are a little anti-mass transit. How do you defend yourself on the charge? Because this was going to go, until it was changed in terms of the dedicated lanes, was going to go right in front of one of your car dealerships. Some people say, well, he just wants to make sure he can still sell more cars.
30 years ago, Mayor Richard Fulton asked me to be on the MTA board, and I served in that capacity for several years. And one of my goals was to convince the MTA that we need to have such a really excellent mass transit system in this city that people could choose not to own a car and get around everywhere they need to go, to work, to church, to the airport, to anywhere they need to go, to hospitals and shopping centers and such, without owning a car. And that today, if they had embraced that, today we would probably have significantly fewer cars on the road. And so I'm not at all just trying to sell cars. I know that criticism's been leveled at me, but I really believe it's not going to affect our business that much if people choose not to own a car. Congestion where people can't get to my business, yeah, that would be an impact.
Now, you've been a major supporter of the bill that's passed the state Senate and may still be pending in the House that would basically ban the kind of design the AMP was going to be using. Even with this committee being put together, even with the changes the mayor is asking for, are you going to continue to try to see that the legislature, before they go home this month, passes that bill?
Absolutely.
What do you think your chances are? The House bill is different, doesn't have that ban in it, just basically requires some reporting and approvals that were already going to be required.
You know, we'll have to see. I'm not an expert on legislation and how that's all put together, but I know that this is a bad plan for the city of Nashville. It is $175 million project that where really a $20 million project, and that still sounds like a lot of money, but a $20 million project could actually be more beneficial overall to the city of Nashville and to the state and the federal than the $175 million. So we'd be saving over $150 million.
Now, one of the groups that assisted you in helping to pass the bill in the Senate so far is Americans for Prosperity. I understand they have a Tennessee affiliate. You've been a major donor to that particular organization. Were you the ones that brought them into this? How did that come about that they got involved in this particular issue?
The state director was at Legislative Plaza and said, look, you know, we'd be glad to help you pursue this legislation. Now,
has your money that's been going to AFP been targeted for here in Tennessee, or are you involved with them in some of the national and other things they're involved in other states?
The vast majority of what I've donated to them is national, not in the states.
This group is quite controversial, primarily because of the Koch brothers. Have you met them? What's your relationship to them? Did you talk with them about getting the group involved down here?
I've met them. I really have a question that I'd like to ask you. If someone came up with a product that saved people thousands and thousands of dollars every year, and they wanted to offer it to everybody, do you think that'd be a good thing?
Well, I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about. It's not for me to decide.
Well,
I'm really asking the questions about the Koch brothers because they have been controversial in some of the things they've been involved with to some people.
But hypothetically, would it be good if somebody could offer a product to
It sounds people? In theory like it would be, not knowing exactly what the product is.
All right. Well, and if they were going to offer this product for free, All right, and if there were a group that were opposing them, trying to stop them from offering or stop people from using this product, that'd be a bad thing, I would think. And if the person with the product was willing to spend their own money to try to help people have the right and freedom to use this product, seems like that'd be a noble cause.
Well, I would agree.
That's exactly, those hypothetical people really exist. They are Charles and David Koch.
Okay. Thank you for coming in for the program.
And the product is economic liberty.
Okay. Lee, thank you for joining us on the show. I suspect we'll continue to follow what happens with the AMP and this project as it goes forward.
Great. Thank you, Pat.
We'll take a break and we'll come back in just a minute and talk to Ralph Schultz. He's with the Pro-AMP movement. We'll get his take on the changes and where we go from here. Back after this break.